And a very good Monday morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Joe Benigno back with you again. It's the the Pain podcast, Monday, March 10th, 2025. The Joe Benigno the Pain podcast brought to you by the Hackensack Brewing Company, by Anita Discount Tire, and also, of course, our very good buddies at Manscaped. Don't forget, April 4th, our next live podcast at the Hackensack Brewing Company. That is the Friday night of the Mets home opener against Toronto. Hopefully, we'll see everybody over there. Should be a stellar night. Okay, we'll start with the baseball injuries because right now the injuries are piling up in New York. You've heard where I guess one of the doctors, somebody has recommended that Gerrit Cole get Tommy John surgery. This is not good news for the Yankees. We'll see. I know the Yankees are going for another opinion now to see whether or not that's going to be the case. I guess we'll find out soon enough, but a big hit for the Yankees if they lose him. They already have Luis Gil out probably until July. Who knows about Giancarlo Stanton? He may be out for, maybe the year. I mean, who knows about him? So the Yankees right now, you look at where they are. If they don't have Cole and they don't have Stanton and they don't have Gil, they still look like a pretty good team. But, you look at, I mean, Juan Soto is gone now. They're just not, no Giancarlo. They're just not the same team they were. Now we'll see what they get from Goldschmidt. We'll see what they get from Cody Bellinger. Obviously, the signing of Max Fried takes on even a bigger, importance now that Cole could be done for the year. Let's hope that's not the case, but doesn't sound very good at all in Yankee land. So we'll see where we go from here. Now, the Mets have injuries, too. I mean, we already know about Manaea. Probably we'll see him sometime late in April. But you already know that Montas is out for a long period of time. Not that we're too excited about him. And now we get the news yesterday that Francisco Alvarez broke his hamate bone in his hand, and he's going to be out 2 to 3 months. Looks like he's going to get surgery. So the Mets right now, I mean, I guess the only catcher they really have major league experience is Luis Torrens, who was a solid backup for them last year, but that's what he is, a backup catcher. So I know they got a kid that hit, I don't know the kid's name. I saw he hit a grand slam yesterday down in spring training. I don't know the kid's name. He's a catcher. Maybe he's part of the mix now because obviously there's going to be no Alvarez. And look, Alvarez was out for a long period of time last year too. So, a ascending, as they say, young player, got a lot of talent. The pitchers love pitching to him. Didn't hit last year like he did the year before, like he did his rookie year. And you were really kind of looking for Alvarez to have a big breakout year this year. But that's certainly a major setback right now for the New York Mets. So injuries all over the place for the Yankees and the Mets. Big injuries here in spring training. Still a couple weeks away from opening day. We'll see where we go from here. Maybe it's better to have them now. But, the big story, obviously, is the possibility that Gerrit Cole may have Tommy John surgery and be out for the year. So we'll see what happens, but not a very not a good thing right now for the New York Yankees, and obviously the injury to Alvarez not very good for the Mets. All right, lots going on this week. Obviously, the Big East tournament starts this week. St. John's with that thrilling win on Saturday over Marquette. They're the number 1 seed in the Big East. They'll play Thursday. They play the winner of the Butler-Providence game, the early 12 o'clock game on Thursday. So we'll see. The Big East, I guess you got gets underway on Tuesday, and St. John's will make their first appearance against the Providence Butler winner on Thursday. I got to believe if St. John's runs the table and wins the Big East tournament, they got to be a 2 seed. I mean, they're sitting there as the number 6 team in the country right now, and I guess the AP polls come out today, and we'll see where they are. But and all the different, who's that? Joe Lenardi, whatever the hell his name is, who's the bracket guru and all of this. He doesn't have St. John's in the top 8. He has St. John's as a 3 seed, not as a 2 seed. I don't see if you're the number 6 team in the country, that puts you firmly in the 2 line, does it not? So we'll see what happens. St. John's wins the tournament. to me, they got to be a 2 seed. I think if they don't win the tournament, then they're probably going to be a 3 seed. So I don't think it's going to be any worse. I can't see them dropping to 4, although you never know because, look, let's be honest. The committee does not give the Big East a lot of love. I mean, and it's really, when you think about it, okay? Think about this. Since 2016, and remember, there was no NCAA tournament. There was no tournament in 2020 because of the COVID nonsense. So there was no tournament in 2020. So think about this. In the last, take that tournament out, since 2016, four national champions have been out of the Big East. Villanova won it in 16 and 18, and UConn won it the last 2 years, yet they get absolutely no love at all, right? You're going to probably have just 4 teams in the Big East out in the NCAA tournament. You're going to have St. John's, you're going to have Creighton, you're going to have UConn, and you're going to have Marquette. I guess Xavier and Villanova are kind of on the bubble, I guess, But then you look at the SEC, they're talking about 11, 12, 13 teams out of the SEC. Everybody and their brother, right? Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Tennessee. I mean, we got, right? I mean, Vanderbilt. I mean, everybody. Basically, the whole league is going to be in there. Oklahoma. I mean, it's crazy in the SEC. So we'll see how many bids the Big East gets. Obviously, if there's an upset winner or somebody like Xavier or Villanova were to win the Big East tournament, that'll put another team in there. But, we'll see. We'll see. But I really got to – I think if St. John's – I don't see any way that St. John's is not a 2 seed if they run the table now and win the Big East tournament. We'll see how it plays out. But what a great year. And, again, I don't see how St. John's is any less than a 3 seed in the NCAA. And, of course, coming up this Sunday is Selection Sunday. So always a big day. We'll all be pumped up to see that, no doubt about it. Now I'm into the women's too. And I watched yesterday, South Carolina absolutely destroyed Texas. Texas was the number 1 team in the country. South Carolina beat them by like 20 points in the SEC final to win the SEC championship. Tonight, you got a UConn going for the Big East championship. They just buried everybody. I mean, every game, they beat Villanova by 30 yesterday. They play Creighton tonight in the Big East final, and you got to believe they're winning that and winning it easily. I really hope, because a few weeks ago, I watched on a Sunday afternoon, I watched the UConn women absolutely dismantle South Carolina in Columbia, out South Carolina. They beat them by 30 points. I mean, they were never in the game. South Carolina was never in that game. And how great would it be to see these two go at it again somewhere, either in the Final Four, maybe for a national championship. We'll see how it plays out. But the women's tournament, always a good thing as well. It's really funny. You couldn't pay me to watch a WNBA game. I'm sorry. You couldn't for many, many reasons. We won't get into them. But I love watching the women in college. I really do. So we'll see how it plays out. But South Carolina beating Texas yesterday to win the SEC. And tonight you got UConn and Creighton, the final of the women's Big East tournament. So that's always going to be exciting too. And, of course, Selection Sunday for the women is also this Sunday. So that goes down for both. I got to believe UConn's getting a number 1 seed, shouldn't they? I don't see how they don't. I mean, I maybe I'm crazy, but I mean, I got to believe they will. So we'll see. What are they, like 29-3, 30-3, something like that? I don't know, something along those lines. But we'll see how it all plays out. But UConn Creighton tonight for the women's Big East final. That game's got to be in Connecticut, right? Probably in Hartford. I'm not sure where that tournament is, but probably that's where it is. All right, Benigno, the Ode of Pain podcast. Now, how about the Rangers last night? What a disaster! This team's not making the playoffs. I mean, let's be honest, Ranger fans. They got 18 games left to play. This past week was a killer. They had those back-to-back shutout wins against 2 lousy teams. They shut out Nashville. They shut out the crummy Islanders. And then the last 3 games have really told the story. They had that overtime loss to the Capitals at the Garden. What was that, on Tuesday? When they had a 2-1 lead late in the third period. Ovechkin scores the goal to tie it, and they lose it in overtime. Then a big weekend coming up Saturday and Sunday against the two teams right in front of them in the standings, right? Two teams right in front of them in the standings. The Ottawa Senators in Ottawa on Saturday afternoon, and then last night at the Garden against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They blow two-goal leads in the game against Ottawa on Saturday afternoon. They were up 2-0 in that game. They were up 3-1 in that game in the third period. They wind up blowing it. The game goes to overtime, and they lose again in overtime to Ottawa. They get a point, but a disappointing, brutal loss to the Senators. And then last night, with a chance to jump ahead of the Columbus Blue Jackets for that final spot in the Eastern Conference, they get whacked by Columbus 7-3. I mean, you got to be kidding me. The Rangers are down 3-1. This game, you talk about insanity. I mean, and it just shows you how bad this team is. They're down 3-1 in the second period. And then the Blue Jackets get a power play, and the Rangers get two shorthanded goals on the same power play. First of all, Braden Schneider scoring on a great pass from Trocheck, and then an old-fashioned, beautiful 2-on-1 breakaway by the two buddies there, Zibanejad and Kreider, and it's like back and forth, and then Kreider finally buries it. And now it's a 3-3 game. The Garden's going crazy. Two shorthanded goals in the same power play, and then it was all downhill after that. And the Ranger defense has just been terrible. Terrible. I know they missed Adam Fox. You know, they got rid of Ryan Lindgren. They traded him away. They traded away Jacob Trouba earlier in the year. And the defense hasn't been good. I mean, let's be honest about it. You know, Keandre Miller has been very up and down. Will Borgen's been okay. And then, you know, you watch a game last night and he's not very good. I mean, you go right on down the line. They got this other guy. Who's this guy they got? I forget the guy's name. With the defenseman that they traded for one of the trades. I think it was the Kako trade. I mean, the defense just has not been good. And you look at this team, even strength, they stink. And what's happened to the power play? 0 for 4 last night on the power play. This team, I feel you'll actually, if you're a Ranger fan, you actually feel better when they're shorthanded than when they're on a power play. 0 for 4 last night on the power play. They're 1 for their last 21 on the power play. Now, Fox has been out. Kreider just came back now 2 games. He's been out. Those are obviously 2 big guys on the power play. No doubt. But 1 for their last 21 on the power play. This was a team that last year, the power play was money. Money. I don't think they ever went 2 games in a row without scoring a power play goal. I mean, that's how good they were on the power play last year, and they just have not been the same. I mean, you know, there were a couple of power plays last night. They didn't even get near getting a shot. You know, it looks like, you know, they're an ice-capades. They're, you know, let's see if we can do a little, triple axel or something like that. You know, where's Katrina Witt? Unbelievable. I just don't see how this team's making it. I don't see it. They got 18 games left. They got a brutal road trip coming up here now. They play Winnipeg on Tuesday. They play Minnesota on Thursday. They play the Blue Jackets again, I guess, over the weekend. Then Edmonton comes into the Garden. I mean, they got a their next 6 opponents are all teams that are in the playoffs right now. They're all in playoff position right now. So you can't feel very good about the state of the New York Rangers right now. You just can't. And I don't know what to say. You know, the Rangers, nobody, maybe with the exception of maybe Will Cooley, maybe him, everybody else has totally underachieved this year. You know, Artemi Panarin, and he's been hot lately. He scored again last night. He scored goals now in the last 5 games, Panarin. He started to come on. He does have 28 goals this year. But remember, last year, he set the Ranger regular season record for points in a season. Remember, he had 48 goals. He broke Yager's record. I forget how many points he had total. He hasn't come close to that this year. Chris Kreider had 39 goals last year. He's got 18 this year. I know he's missed a lot of games. I understand that. But, you know, nobody has been as good as they were last year. What does Zibanejad have, like 14 goals this year? Something like that. Trocheck hasn't been the same. Lafreniere hasn't been close to what he was last year. You know, We talked about the defense hasn't been any good. And like I said, the defense, it's not the same. There's no Trouba, there's no Lindgren, and you got Adam Fox out now. I mean, come on. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I just look, they're 2 points, I think, out of a playoff spot now, 2 points behind Columbus. But with 18 games to go, and they're not dead yet, but with 18 games to go, the New York Rangers right now are giving you no reason to think that they are making the playoffs. And I don't see it. And even a goalie, and last night Jonathan Quick played. I don't know how much was on him, because there were just, so many times where, and we've seen this for a long time now, where the Rangers just can't get out of their own end, where they just can't get the puck out. Like it seems like sometimes, whole periods are played in front of the Ranger goalie, whether it's Igor or whether it's Quick. And even Igor hasn't been as good. And we've had it. Go back to that game right after the break with the tournament, the four country tournament deal, and they played the Buffalo Sabres, and they give up 8 goals in that game. Shesterkin gave up 5 goals in the first period. They lost 8-2. And they lose 7-3 last night. And that's a game they had to have. Yeah, you can't feel good about it right now. It has not been a good year. This tone, and to me, Chris Drury, and I really think Chris Drury and David Stearns have to be related, don't they? Don't they have to be? Don't they have to be related? They really look like each other, And I really don't like either of them, but obviously it's been a little better. It's been better for Stearns, although last year the Rangers had a real good year last year before coming up short in the conference finals, as we've seen so many freaking times over the years. But anyway, Drury set the tone when he basically said everybody was up for trades, and including Kreider, and then he traded everybody. He traded Trouba, he traded Kakko, he traded Schneider. Not Schneider. He traded Lindgren. He traded Jimmy Vesey. We go right on down the line. All these guys that he got rid of. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But I don't see how the Rangers are making it. I really don't. All right. Benigno, the Yoda Pain podcast. Let's get the sponsors in here. You know about the Hackensack Brewing Company, April 4th. We'll see who the guest will be. I don't know yet. I'm working on a couple. We'll let you know as soon as I know. I got to shoot some texts out to people here. But check out the Hackensack Brewing Company, located 10 minutes off the George Washington Bridge, less than 30 seconds off Route 4 in beautiful Who Needs a House out in Hackensack, New Jersey. Tap rooms open 4:30 to 10 Monday through Friday, 2 to 10 Saturday, 12 to 8 Sunday, 78 Johnson Avenue in Hackensack. And again, April 4th, the night of the Mets home opener, we will have our next live podcast. Come and check it out. Check out my Yoda Pain beer when you're there. See Mike Jones, see TJ. They all do a great job. April 4th, the next live podcast at the Hackensack Brewing Company. You need work on your car? You know where you got to go? You got to go to Anita Discount Tire. They did a great job on our car last week, fixing our problem with our steering. What a disaster that was. You ever try steering a car without the power steering working? Try that. I heard, I couldn't believe this, all right? I'm not a NASCAR guy, but I was watching Fox or whatever, and one of the big NASCAR guys were on. I forget who it was, but one of the big guys. Do you realize that these NASCARs, and I didn't know this, they don't have power steering in these cars?
I don't know how they do it.
How can you, are you serious? How can you drive these 500-mile, races with no power steering? You got to be Hercules. Let me tell you, those guys are in a lot better shape than you would think, because you got to be. You got to be in top shape to drive that car 500 miles. Those races last a long, what are they, like 4 or 5 hours they last? So, yeah, crazy. Unbelievable. The pain of it all. Anyway, but thank God, right. Thank God my power steering's working. God bless. Thank you, Anita Discount Tire. Go see Johnny, go see Ari, go see everybody over there. They'll take care of you. Anita Discount Tire. Whatever your automotive needs are. Again, you need tires. They'll inspect your car. Whatever you need, tell them that Benigno sent you. And of course, certainly not least, my buddies at Manscaped. The NCAA tournament is coming. March Madness is here. And you got the Manscaped starting 5. You got the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra for downstairs. You got the Chairman for that smooth look upstairs. You got the handyman. You want to check that out. Compact and clutch. You got the beard hedger. You got it all. The dome shaver. Whatever. If you're bald, obviously. Whatever. I'm not. I don't have the hair I used to. Anyway, very white. But check it out. They have it all at Manscaped. I love Manscaped. I've been telling you about the 5.0 Ultra. It takes care of downstairs, gives you that illusion of extra inches, which we all want. Every guy wants, even if it's not real, the illusion sometimes can be just as good. Oh, look how it's grown. Unbelievable. They should have like Manscaped should have a new thing come out and call it the Johnny Wad hedger.
Oh my God.
No, they should, because it would it gives you that illusion of it. You don't want to use Ron Jeremy. You want the illusion, because he's such a pig. Johnny Watt is dead. I don't know if he was such a great guy either, but he's not with us anymore. But anyway, something like that. The illusionary, right? The Johnny Wad illusionary. Instead of the 5.0 Ultra, it could be the 10.0 Ultra, right? I'm here to help Manscaped because I love them. I love Manscaped. They got great underwear. I'll be playing golf today. I'll be playing golf today at noon. I'll be wearing my Manscaped underwear. No doubt, I love it. Keeps your balls right where they need to be. You don't want to pop it out while you're trying to hit a ball. You don't want that. You definitely don't want that. They also have nice T-shirts. And don't forget the Manscaped shampoo and body wash. Come on. You got to get it. It's unbelievable. It really is. Don't let your grooming game get benched. Head over to manscaped.com. Use the code PAIN. And I got a lot of that for 20% off and free shipping, and get ready to score big at Manscaped. I love it. Tell them Benigno sent you. Get it done. And I'm telling you, Manscaped people, listen to me. The 10.0 Ultra Lawnmower, the Johnny Wad model. Let's go. All right. Benigno, the Oda Pain podcast. My wife said I'm killing her now. Anyway. Hey. Where were we? I've lost my train of thought. What a surprise. I don't know. Anyway, free agency really getting going today in the NFL. Now, I'm doing this show early. Now, who knows? By the end of the day, we may know that the Jets and Giants have both signed quarterbacks. You're hearing a rumor now, Aaron Rodgers to the Seahawks, who need a quarterback now with Geno Smith being traded to the Raiders for a third-round pick. You saw with Devontae Adams. Only the Jets would dump 2 future Hall of Famers, right? Because they don't need them. Why would they need them? Because they're so good, right? Because they've been just lining up those Lombardi trophies, right? Only the Jets could dump 2 Hall of Famers in Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and tell me that we're going to be a better team this year, right? Only the Jets. I mean, come on. Unbelievable. Adams signed a 2-year deal with the Rams. He'll have a monster year with the Rams. Might be in the Super Bowl. Can't you see him now? Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, and the kid Pua, however you say his name is. I mean, you got to be. I mean, come on, Nakua. That's it. Pua Nakua. That's a pretty good 3. That's a pretty good 3 wide receiver set there, right? Not bad. Not bad at all. Unbelievable. Only the Jets. So Devontae signs a 2-year deal with the Rams. You saw with Myles Garrett. He wanted a trade from Cleveland. I can't imagine why you'd want to leave the Browns, but nevertheless, maybe you could like to win a game every now and then. But as I always say, every time I think about how bad the Jets are, I think of the Cleveland Browns. And at least I know that I don't suffer alone. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I just pointing that out. But they gave Myles Garrett like this stupid, I forget what the signing bonus was, but they gave Garrett this stupid money. So Garrett will stay in Cleveland with the Browns. And, we'll see. We'll see. We'll probably see a lot of movement going down today. We already saw what Deebo Samuel got traded to the Redskins. I'm sorry. The Commanders. Of course. With Don back in, shouldn't we have the Redskins and the Indians again? I mean, we should, but, we won't get into that. We don't want to get crazy. But anyway, where was I? I'm losing my train today. So we'll see what happens. a lot of rumors about the Jets signing Justin Fields to a 2-year deal. I can't get excited about it. You know my feeling. They did sign Jamie Sherwood, which was a good move. You know, as my great former producer, the legendary Ernie Acosta, one of the love Ernie, one of the all-time greats. As he pointed out to me yesterday, Sherwood signed a 3-year deal with the Jets, $30 million guaranteed. Remember, he led, amazingly enough, and he had a lot of opportunities, led the NFL in solo tackles last year, so he had a big year. And I was kind of, up and, okay, they signed Sherwood. But he reminded me of something. How many big-time linebackers have the Jets lost over the years to other teams, whether it's Demario Davis, who's become like an icon in New Orleans. I mean, he's been there for like 10 years now. Or whether it's James Farrior, who, of course, went on to win Super Bowls in Pittsburgh, or whether it's Jonathan Vilma, who went on to win a Super Bowl in New Orleans, right? Both of them first-round draft choices, James Farrior and Jonathan Vilma. So Sherwood signs, gets $30 million up front, and we'll see how it goes from here. But I'm assuming a lot of stuff is going to happen today. And I will say this, if there's a lot that goes down today, as far as, especially the local teams, the Jets and the Giants, a lot of big names that wind up getting signed today in free agency, we'll do a special tomorrow, okay? We'll do a special just for Audie in Brooklyn. This is for you, Audie, okay? And you know how I feel about drafting a quarterback. If Shedeur Sanders is there, they better take him at 7. And if he's not, I would take Jackson Dart at 7 from Ole Miss. I'm taking a chance. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and nobody is more desperate than my football team. I mean, let's tell that like it is. All right, before we go, I'm going to be, my wife and I will be playing golf today. The Duke will be playing. We're playing at Darlington. It's supposed to be like 60-something degrees today. Very excited about that. Probably like 70 tomorrow. We're playing tomorrow as well. So very pumped up to be doing that. Did you check the golf yesterday? Pretty exciting Bay Hill yesterday. Arnold Palmer's tournament. Russell Henley coming from 3 shots down with about 4 or 5 holes to go to overcome Colin Morikawa and win the Arnold Palmer at Bay Hill. He was 11 under par. The big shot of the tournament, Morikawa's got a 1-shot lead. They're on 16, which is a par 5. And Henley is in the rough there yesterday was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Henley's in the rough, right? With a chip shot that looks like it's almost impossible. You can't even see the ball. What does he do? He chips it in out of the rough for an eagle and takes the lead at 11 under. And then he holds on and winds up winning it by 1 shot over Morikawa. And it wasn't even like, now Morikawa had a 3-shot lead at one point, as I mentioned. But it wasn't like Morikawa choked. It was more like Russell Henley just took it away from him. So congratulations to Russell Henley. He wins the Arnold Palmer at Bay Hill. Now this week, one of the top, they call it the 5th major, and it's the Players this week at Sawgrass. Always one of my favorite tournaments. The only negative thing about the Players this week is that the live guys are not playing it. You know, it's funny. Last night, I didn't tell my wife this. I was bouncing around, going through the various, with the clicker, seeing what was on TV last night. And there was a live tournament on from somewhere, like Singapore or somewhere.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And you could hear it playing the music and all of that. I think it was Abraham Answer that was putting or whatever. So that's the only negative about the Players, that they're not playing. They'll live, Brooks Koepka, Bryson DeChambeau. I mentioned Abraham Answer, John Rahm, Patrick Reed, Mickelson. None of these guys are playing.
Like music coming from a loudspeaker?
Almost sounded like it. Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
Eileen was saying.
Yeah. It's like from a loudspeaker to music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think the WB11 has it. I think that's the one that has the contract for the live. I was watching it for a second. I really didn't pay too much. It was somewhere like, maybe it was Australia. I don't know where it was. It was somewhere far away. Anyway, that's the big problem. I mean, can we see these guys? You will see all the big PGA guys, though. Everybody will be playing. Scotty Scheffler, who has not had a great year so far, but remember, he's won back-to-back Players. He won the last 2. He'll be playing. McElroy, who's one of players, he'll be there. Where's Xander Schauffele? I saw Xander Schauffele playing in this indoor league that they got. Have you seen that? Where they hit the ball into a simulator, and then the short game is actually played out. They got like the green, they got the bunkers, surrounding the green. I think it's about 50 yards in that they play, which wouldn't be bad. I actually would, because I hate hitting the ball into a simulator. I actually would not mind doing that if you could actually really play the short game out. That wouldn't be bad. But but I seen Schauffele playing that. Where is he? He didn't play at Bay Hill. He wasn't there. No. But you'll see all the big names. Tony Finau, Morikawa, Matsuyama. Everybody be playing. Ricky Fowler, who actually had a pretty good week too. He didn't play yesterday. I didn't see him. You'll see Spieth play. Remember Fowler last week at the PGA National actually was on the top 10. He was in the leaderboard there for a while. Remember, Fowler has won the Players already. So that's the biggest tournament he's won for a guy that's never won a major. But
Xander has a rib injury.
Is that what it is?
He was supposed to play
at Bay Hill, and he didn't. Is he playing at the Players? Does it say?
I don't know.
Schauffele's got a rib injury, as my wife is pointing out. But anyway, you got the Players this week. So that's one of the top tournaments, the 17th hole at Sawgrass. Always great. No doubt about it. One of my favorite holes in all of golf. So check out the Players this week if you're into the golf. And we'll see if Scotty Scheffler can make it 3 straight Players Championships. I doubt that's going to happen. But, I would not. I wouldn't bet against Scheffler. I'll say that. All right, everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Like I said, if there's a lot of if the Jets and Giants do a lot of stuff today in free agency, we'll do a special podcast tomorrow morning. All right? Especially if they both wind up signing quarterbacks, and we'll see if Aaron Rodgers winds up in Seattle. We'll see what happens. But everybody enjoy your week. Enjoy the nice weather that we got coming our way finally. And as always, all the love, and God bless America, the greatest country in the world.
Amen.